Welcome, friends, to the Soul Talk podcast, a show where we explore and uncover the path to the heart, amplifying your conscience. Join me as we meet incredible souls who are in this journey and learn from their experience and different methods that will make you vibrate your heart. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. This is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and thank you for being here in Soul Talk. I want to present you with you guys a friend that she lives in Canada. Her name is Kelly Wolf. Kelly is an acupuncturist, sound therapist, clairvoyant, animal communicator. Her goal is to educate her clients about the frequency-based reality and they live in. Therefore, empowering them to the shift to heal and enrich their lives with their own personal power. Kelly, I have experience with her. I took a class a long time ago with a friend about Akashic records. And Kelly is really on point. It is very, very gifted. And I'm so happy to have you here in Soul Talk, Kelly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Monica. It is so good to be here, and it is so good to see you again as well. And what a compliment coming from somebody like you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Kelly, let's talk about in this, we're going to be talking about galactic guides because I know you communicate with them as I do, and about the disclosure that right now in 2026,
Mhm.
they've been telling me for years, we're coming, we're coming, we're coming. And my guides too, my galactic guides. But sometimes we just need confirmation that what we heard from our guides, from other people, it is happening or it is true. That confirmation help us to believe more in ourselves.
I'm getting chills right now. Yeah, totally. So this is my favorite subject, the galactic side of things. So yeah, so I actually can I talk about star seeds because there's probably people that don't really understand, what star seeds are. I mean, I know this is your jam as well. So this is what I know, and all the information that I've come up with for this is things like you that have been channeled. That I've talked to guides, I've talked to my own guides. Um, it's not anything from outside sources. So like I said, if anybody out there in the audience has anything else, please let Monica know if they, because I would love to expand on this subject some more. So, what I know about star seeds is, basically there are different ways that star seeds come into this incarnation. So, one is from source, from spirit, bringing in this, their gifts from their galactic lives, right? Which we've all brought in some gift, I think, on this planet from a galactic life. And then also from the Starseed program. So the Starseed programs are basically a galactic being, an aspect of their consciousness comes into this reality. So I guess a better way to explain this is when those individuals leave and transition out of this life, they'll wake up on a ship. And as far as I know, there are several species that are involved in this. Now, I'm not so schooled on all of the species out there. I mean, there's a limitless version of species out there, so many that we don't even know. But bottom line, star seeds hold like a different vibration. Now, I'm not trying to say that star seeds are better than anybody else on this planet because that is not true. We are all one. We all have our gifts. We are all the same. But they hold a very specific vibration um, to help, shift humanity, change this world. So essentially, a star seed coming in just really has to just be to do their work. But if of course on top of that they want to help humanity wake up as well, that would be awesome. So that's what I know about star seeds. I don't know. Do you have anything that
Something,
that comes to
yes,
mind?
I do remember my call. It was a call in the 1940s that it was after the atomic bomb. It happened exactly around where they created, around where I live now. And uh, and I remember the call. I remember that it was a call from Gaia, that it was needing for help. And I remember coming with a lot of galactic beings, that we sign up for this. We sign up to be here in this moment, that we know it was not gonna be easy. That's why we came. And it was a call for all the galactic beings. So they were from many star systems that they came here, not only from the Pleiades or the Sirians or the Arcturians. It was way more than that.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it's interesting because what's really common, I think, with star seeds, well, in this incarnation, there's a certain point in our lives, or maybe a good portion of our life, where we feel like, well, why are we here? We don't belong here, right? We feel like we belong somewhere else. But we signed up for this, right? So we need to embrace this. And I do know for me, about 6 years ago, I started, or no, maybe even more than that. I would say more like 10 years ago. I've been seeing galactic beings for a long time, but I didn't really understand who and what they were. But maybe close to 10 years ago, I started seeing a lot of galactic beings around me. Really interesting. I mean, and I could communicate with them, which was quite nice. Um, so this is where a lot of the information comes in. Some of them don't want to give me too much information, obviously. So they don't want to affect your free will when I ask about the future, because the future is based on the collective of
Yeah.
of this planet. But one thing I did experience is I can actually feel my other body, and I can see it in a pod on a ship. um, it was the strangest feeling for a long time, being able to feel my other body. But I've gotten used to it. It's okay, and I've kind of come to terms with it. But it's really interesting. I can communicate with the crew on the ship, which is quite interesting. So, and they've told me a few things about disclosure. So,
Yes. I can see myself too in a spaceship as a Pleiades. But we're multidimensional beings. We forget that part.
okay.
That our experience of Kelly or experience of mine, many of you that you're listening or seeing this right now, this podcast, are having at the same time. But there's always like a confirmation, like we were talking at the beginning, that we are not completely sure, but we feel. If you put actually attention, you're gonna feel yourself in different places at the same time. That's what it means, multidimensional being. That the
That's
majority
true.
of the human beings are multidimensional beings.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So we're so much more than just that, right?
Yes.
And one really amazing thing that has come to light for me recently was I've had two pregnant clients that came to see me in the last month. And I mean, I know I've seen both of them before, so I know they're star seeds. They were both newly pregnant, and man, the babies love to talk. They just love to tell you so many wonderful things about spirit, about source. But these babies, both of these babies, showed me an image of their mother on a ship and surrounded by hybrid children. So, I mean, I don't know if this has come up for you, but I was so excited to hear this. So, what these hybrid children or these babies told me, they are the hybrid children. So, they told me that there's a new program, a new Starseed program where the hybrid children are now coming in. And that just, I mean, that's just going to change this whole world.
I have seen many hybrid children already in this planet, that they were born here already since a long time ago, and another ones that they were bring down in the ships.
Yeah.
Bec- what there have been many programs, many different kinds of programs, and so many of the programs, it is they were taking ovaries or things like that, or from women, and they were procreating them in labs in the
Hmm.
space, and then they were putting in mothers, human mothers that they were here.
Right.
And
Right.
other ones they just transport the hybrid to planet Earth. So it's been a
Mhm.
different many programs that is being since many years. We're talking about at least 80 to 90 years, something like that, that has been more with the hybrids.
Yes, yes, you're 100% right on that. I mean, when disclosure happens, I'm sure we're gonna, meet so many hybrids, or maybe we already knew them. But I still want to get more information when they come back to see me. I mean, I could connect with them anytime, really, but it's interesting. It's a newer program, so I'm not sure if it's a different race of hybrids, or but I
Yeah.
know that those two babies were from the same race. Um, and those two women don't know each other, but from the same race. So there's something really exciting about this, this new kind of crew coming in, coming into this planet. And the feeling I got when they were speaking is it's part of that disclosure. They're going to have some. I'm not sure what their role will be in the future as they grow, but there'll be some role when it comes to, I don't know, I guess just coming to terms with that we're not alone
Yes.
for, for some people on the planet, right?
And there's been too much the speculations. What is disclosure? So we should talk about that. What to
Yeah,
explain. Maybe some people do not know exactly what it means, the disclosure, because right now
yeah,
where's the dirtiness showing up from the world that it is horrible. And I ask why I did not saw this coming, why it is too much coming out, like putrefaction coming out. And it is part of the same disclosure because
mhm,
this is been happening for eons. And unfortunately, it was denied it for us to even comprehend or thought that it was happening. And that's part of the disclosure. But the disclosure that we're talking about, Kelly and me, has to do with the galactics. That is not necessarily coming from the politicians right now. It is very different than how the politicians can even mention it or saying it. We should not even give credit to the politicians about this.
yes, yeah, 100%. I mean, I see this disclosure, this coming disclosure, more as just the opening of truth. Because I mean, you and I have always known that we've never been alone. We've always known that they're all around us, that there's some, that are been living amongst us for, hundreds of years, right? Or even longer than that. But I believe when, finally those that want to, I'm not going to name names, but those that want to keep everything suppressed, when they just say, all right, we just can't cover this up anymore, and they open it up, everything is going to change. Technology will change, healthcare will change, education will change. I mean, and it'll change slowly because it needs to change slowly. But I do believe everything will change. I mean, you saw this last year, the Boogosphere in Colombia.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that
There's been
was
also in United
awesome.
States. There've been a lot of Buga spheres also in United States.
Yes, and yes, a lot of people came forward, whistleblowers saying, "Oh, I saw one of those, in this location."
In the
Um,
airport of Los Angeles was one. In the
mhm,
airport. In the
yeah.
airport of Los Angeles was one. It was
Oh,
one of the busiest ones.
that's awesome. Yeah, and we just didn't even know. But I just loved that, this was put out to the public so we could see that, right? So all of this little soft disclosure is happening right now. But I think, so many star seeds are finding each other, and so many people in general are having experiences. Um, with, the night sky, or they're having experiences in dreams, or it's really, really incredible. Um, yeah,
And
so I'm
the
ready.
discussion is happening because either way, well, in my case, what they told me, it was that when they were gonna present themselves to the people. not to the governments, not to entities, not to a country, not to a person. It was going to be to directly to the channelers, to the people that they were open, that the people that were already ready to see them and have conversations with them. And they were going to give that information. And obviously, some of the governments realized that it was going to be without their authorization. So now they're trying to jump in and say, oh, we are going to do the disclosure. But in reality, it was going to happen with them or without them.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. True. And I mean, I understand, that they're waiting for the collective vibration to rise a little bit more. And so, that's what, I'm sure that's what you've been working on, what I've been working on, just helping people just learn how to calm the nervous system, meditate, love themselves a little more, and everything changes, right? But I do believe it's going to be such a beautiful, positive change for this planet.
Yes.
It's what we've needed. I know that we all came here for this as well, so I'm so excited.
And the technologies is going to go directly to the people at the same time, not only
Yep.
to the governments. And that's why it was so important. Because
Yeah.
unfortunately, the human being, we have our dark side, and it can be used against the same humanity that they wanted to help. So,
100%. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because, yeah, they are sovereign beings and they see us as sovereign beings. And so, yeah, so everything will change. And yeah, I'm so excited for the future. Even though it looks kind of crazy right now, yeah, it's, I think a lot of people are getting more and more ready for this and opening up to it. I had a really interesting experience about 7 years ago, I think. I was working on a client in my home here, and it was October. It was a pretty warm day for Canada, for northern Canada, and it was a beautiful sunny day. And when I finished, I had to drive to the store. So I drove to the grocery store, and I was on the way, and I was looking to the north, and I saw this huge cloud, but it was such an odd shape.
yeah.
And I I looked on my phone, nothing was on radar. Not a thing was on radar. And I thought, that's interesting. And I could see it moving from north to south. So I went to the store, came home, I was cooking, and I had my big front window open and it faces north. And I heard thunder and I saw some lightning. And I I stopped, I turned everything off, and I was just compelled to walk to the window. And I didn't know why. And I walked to the window and I looked out and I saw lightning again. And the sun, it was sunset at that time, but it wasn't dark yet. And I saw the lightning. This was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. When the lightning struck or hit or lit up, it went all the way around this ship. It was like a two-tiered ship. You could totally see the shape, but it was in the shape, well, it was a cloud that was in this shape, but I knew it was a ship. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. And so as it moved closer, something said, go meditate. And so I sat down and I meditated, and I got the message that it was a Lyran ship and it was cleaning up the oil sands and also helping strengthen the grid of Mother Earth. And it was so interesting because the next day I had a full day of clients, and every single one of them said, did you see that lightning last night? That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It went all the way around that cloud. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I didn't, some of them I couldn't really tell them what my experience, but one of them I did. And it was just so, it just gave me hope, you know, that, because, there's, it's a parking lot up there of ships that we can't see. But
Many of them they have a clock mechanism. So sometimes you can see it, but the majority of the time you see clouds. And that's it. And in this time, because it have changed. I remember I grew up in Veracruz, Mexico, and in Veracruz I saw it many times. In fact, every 4 years, I don't know, it's still happening now, but 4 years you go out at 7 o'clock to certain place and you just observe certain place between the mountains in there, and everybody. knew that it was a spaceship there every day
Uh,
at 7 o'clock. It always happened. But I saw many in that time over there. And I saw many also in Texas where I live. So I know they're not following me. I know they're happening everywhere in the world.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and
It
there's
is
different
amazing.
kinds from the Lyrians, from the Pleiades, from the Arcturians, from name it, from the Syrians, from many of our allies, galactic allies that are actually they are our allies because they are part of our family. For the star seeds, we're part of them, of the same family, like distant cousins or uncles or aunts or whatever you want to call it. So that's why we are important for them because we are family in a way.
Yes, definitely. Definitely family. I mean, I can see the crew on my ship and they are so loving, so loving. Yeah, and I think once people and you don't have to be a starseed to open up to this, to have these experiences as well, because we all have some sort of a galactic family somewhere, some soul family that, still knows us, still loves us, and of course they're watching and they're assisting in as much as they can right now. So we're definitely not alone. But I know when I went to Roswell, so I went to Roswell, I think it was 2018. I can't remember the exact year now, but I went to the UFO festival,
It-
and we went to all the talks. It was really fun. It was really interesting. I had a good time. And then we traveled around New Mexico after that and then flew home. And about a week after we got home, ever since then, I've had, it seems like the galactic beings I see around me just, they grow all the time. Every year, I seem to have more and more. But the first ones that I saw, or not the first ones I saw, the first ones who really I felt like were guides in my field were two Syrians that sit about 45 degrees behind me. And one feels very female, one feels very male, although they look very similar. Um, and I call them the twins. That's my name for them. And they're very stoic, but it was interesting. The female came into a dream and spoke to me, and she told me a little bit about sound, like how to use sound, what frequencies work for our bodies. And she told me something really interesting. And if there's anybody out there who can corroborate this, I would I would love to hear. So she told me that the tone of G, so G is your throat chakra. People who have had near-death experiences say that source resonates in G. It's basically that creation, right? But it's also, and I do know this from my training, it's also the best balancer for the whole body as far as using sound on the body. But she told me that the color that G represents is cobalt blue. And she said, because color, light, and sound are all the same thing. But she said that the tone of G, or even this color of cobalt blue, can stimulate these crystalline structures at the subatomic level of your body. And she called them anons. And she told me that those are the kind of like the aspect, like the divine feminine aspect of every living being. And she said that color can really stimulate those, to kind of open up, and right, because we are in the age of Aquarius, the divine feminine now. So I found that really interesting. So that's what I got from my
Mm,
little Syrian friend there.
Funny,
So
that put me to thinking I am a painter too, and that I have stages in different colors that I have to paint in different colors. Sometimes a while back it was more earthy colors, but it changed to blue.
interesting.
So I've been painting blue beans.
Yeah.
That's beans I'm seeing, and I'm been painting blue beans since then. And I have to force myself. Okay, Monica, paint a human. How it looks human, human flesh. And it's like, okay, stop, get away from the blues. But now that you're saying that, they always have told me art goes into your subconscious, even it doesn't go to your conscious. So the viewer
Mm.
are always gonna If they don't understand it, they may like it or not, but it's gonna go to the subconscious to wake up certain parts of themselves
Hmm.
when they're seeing a piece of art. And with sound, it will be the same thing. Maybe they like it or they don't. It doesn't matter. It goes to the subconscious and wake up certain
Yeah.
parts of them. Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love. And if you have been feeling stuck where you are right now, or if you have felt that you cannot connect with others in the same language or the same emotions that you're feeling, if you're a coach, a healer, energy worker in any of those branches, maybe this is for you because we have felt the disconnection for the rest of our family, friends, that we cannot connect to them. And we're so afraid to actually go deep dive when we're getting triggered by our own clients because we're seeing our mirror image with them. My name is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and that's my spiritual name. And I take clients from feeling confused and feeling stuck to feeling free, to feeling that they feel empowered from themselves. I created a system, Path to the Heart, that goes in 3 levels. And the first level, it is healing the inner child, healing the parts of us that we've been so afraid or it's very painful to do it. I have done it myself, not only with me, and I have done it with many of my clients that I take them to this process. The second level, it is to go more into inner self, clearing the family lineage, to breaking the contracts and vows, learning deeper more about the laws of the universe. And the third level, it is learning how to channel, how to do waking up your and getting online your gifts, your unique gifts that the world so much needs right now. So, if you wanted to know more about this, I am eager to show you and to teach you all what I know that I use every day in my life. So, thank you for being here in this page. I really appreciate it. And this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love.
Yeah, but the color would as well, right? That same color would do the same thing. So I find
Yeah.
that really interesting. Yeah, even light therapy in that color, right, would do the same
Yes.
thing. Whenever I do sound baths, I always find that color because I have some lights and I have many colors I can choose from. I always pick blue when I do sound bath. But yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, I've had experiences where I've done, some of the sound baths I do. While I'm doing the sound bath, I can see a ship over the facility, and they're just observing, right? They just want to see what's going on. They're just interested. I'm sure they're observing what's happening with the people in the sound bath as well. So I've had so many interesting experiences, especially in the last 10 years. I mean, I had one when I was 10 years old, but one really notable one was this was right, let's see, this was during the first shutdown of COVID, and I wasn't super busy. Of course, I still had my practice open, but I wasn't really busy. And so I did a lot of meditating, a lot of meditating. And during one of my meditations, it was just probably about 10 o'clock in the morning, I was meditating, and I saw three Arcturians in front of me. And one of them took this kind of in Canada, we have a $2 coin, and we call it a toonie. It's about, I don't know, this big. And one of them took that toonie and put it right here on my third eye. And this being said, okay, he said, it'll take 4 days to consolidate. And I said, okay. And I was asking questions like, what is it? What are you doing? What is it going to do? I was so curious, of course. And he said, don't ask any questions. Just, it'll take 4 days to consolidate. And that night, I started feeling really bad. And I got a really high fever. So I had a fever for 4 days. And I remember on day three thinking, man, tomorrow better be the last day of this fever. I don't know what's going on here. And it was. It was like I magically woke up on day five perfectly fine. I didn't have any other symptoms except a fever. And so I knew something was shifting. I don't know what was shifting, but I one thing I do know is my gifts opened up a little bit more after that. So it was definitely an opening for me. And I didn't tell anybody about this experience for a while. And about a year later, I told a friend of mine, and she told me that she said, I read about this same thing that happened to a woman around the same time that I had the experience in Peru when she was at an ayahuasca ceremony. So I found that really interesting. So I kind of wonder, were they just going around to different humans? I mean, of course, it was on agreement. I know it was agreement that I agreed to this before I came here. Um, but I found that really interesting. Um,
That's
uh,
so,
that there was somebody else that had the same experience.
that was something that I was explaining yesterday to someone, that all the people that call themselves adoptees, that I was one of them, we did agreement with them
Mm,
to go into the ship and have work with them, and that was part of the agreement that we did before even we came here. So in reality, no one took us without our permission.
hmm.
We gave the permission, but we just forgot that we gave the permission. And
Right,
but
right.
that's
Yeah,
that is something that we have to be aware of, that that is not that we are more special or less special, or because people can tell me, how did it happen to me? It's like, maybe it has. Have you done a regression? Have you, because sometimes they put the part of the, it can be very traumatic. So they put us something about forgetting about that experience. But it did happen to activate certain things, or to heal you, or to work with them in certain ways. But those are agreements that we do as humans, like you just mentioned. It was an agreement that you did with them.
yes. Yeah. I knew it was an agreement. And of course, they understand cosmic law. They would never break, the law of intervention, right? Or affect our free will in any way. So of course that was on agreement. But what I find is what was really interesting is after that, about I want to say maybe a week or so after, now I see three Arcturians off to my left all the time, right? But the center one, the one in the middle, looks a little more etheric, and I know who he is. He was actually my fiance who passed away in an accident 9 years ago. And it was funny when I met him before, when we were first dating. I didn't say this to him initially. I did later when I knew he was okay with all of this. But I remember looking at him and thinking, that man is an Arcturian. It's so funny. But so the center one is him. And I do know when he passed, it was to be a guide for me. I do know that for sure. Yeah, so yeah, really interesting. I mean, none of us are alone, right? I mean, you know this. Our spiritual networks are huge. We have thousands of beings in our spiritual network, right? Some have more galactic, some have less galactic, right? Um,
But
yeah, so
let's say you talk about that part of galactic, because I have clients and students that tell me, "Oh no, I only communicate with angels, not with galactics." And I say, "Okay, angels are not earthlings to start. They are galactic. They're
right,
just a different race. That's so there is the difference, but they are galactics at the same time."
exactly. They're just at different frequency. So they're
Yes,
basically they're non-physicals, right? Because I've seen, and what I call angelic beings or light beings. I've seen many different levels of them, of that non-physical, right? I mean, you have the ones that are a step down from source, and then some that are a little bit different frequency of a different race. Yeah, 100%. But that's what Reiki is. Reiki is a form of light language from those light realms, from those light beings. Different types of Reiki are from the different races. 100%. Yeah, it's very galactic Reiki. Very galactic. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So, yeah, really, really interesting.
So, what do you think is gonna happen in 2026 in this?
Oh,
What information you have received?
well, I know, I mean, they've said that it's so close, like so close. The collective vibration is so close. Um, and you know, when the physical, when we get to meet them in the physical, that's going to be a really wonderful day because then we will know that we truly are collectively at, a good vibration, that that we can handle them and they can handle us.
Yes.
Um, and I'm going to backtrack a little bit though before I answer that question. So I've had people say, "Oh, I want to meet a fifth or sixth or seventh or eighth dimensional being." If they walked into this reality right now, we would be so sick being in their presence, right? Because we can't handle that high vibration. So yeah, so that's really really what we need to do is
How
raise
I
our
have
vibration.
explained it to my students of channeling, it is they have to lower the vibration a little bit,
Yeah,
and we have
yeah,
to raise our vibration at the same time. So like that, we can have a certain kind of communication, because we cannot match a 12-dimensional being. It is our vibration. It is not there. We're not ready. Even the people that have years and years been working with themselves, I am not ready for a 12 being just boom, present themselves
yeah,
immediately for them. Like you said, we will get sick. So they have to lower the vibration and we have to raise it. So
yeah,
I know they are gonna be coming in some kinds of the spaceships that they don't even need them spaceships, but they are gonna be doing that for our eyes, so we can accept that coming more easy, that they just appear here suddenly, because they can do that. They don't really need vehicles. They are the vehicle in many,
that's
of
true.
course, in the higher realms. And
Yeah,
we just want to
yeah,
remind you that they have the law of no intervention, so they cannot intervene unless we ask them for help. Lately, the collective is been asking for help because the world is chaotic right now,
mhm,
and the collective is been asking for help in different parts of the world. That's why they're coming. I feel it's
yeah.
gonna be this year. They've been telling me for years, it's like soon, soon, and now this year I felt it like it's gonna happen this year.
Yeah, I mean, nobody can predict the future, but like on what I'm feeling or seeing on the current timeline is more like end of the summer we're going to start to see this is where it's really going to become apparent. How it will be, shown to us, it's hard to say. I think um what I do believe is we're definitely going to meet some hybrids first. So as far as meeting people in the physical or meeting physical beings, and
Or
then I'm
maybe
not sure how to proceed. I mean, I guess they'll have to kind of see how it goes collectively.
or
Yeah,
maybe the ones they are look more human, like some of the
yeah,
Pleiadians too. Not all of them are blue. Some of the Pleiadians, they're tall whites or blonde or things like that. Those are the ones that they're more similar to us. And
yeah.
those are the ones that first are going to be showing up.
Yes, the human Lyrans, the Palladians. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But what I find it's so interesting is I've had so many clients. So, for example, I didn't know what race of being this being was. But, when you watch things, movies like Star Wars or a lot of the sci-fi movies, I mean, they are really based on fact because this one client I worked with had a guide, like a soul family, that they all look like Yoda. They look very similar to Yoda. And they were lovely and very old, very, very old race. Very, very cool. And then I read Len Kasten's book, The Encyclopedia of all the star races. There, he has a book out there, and he talks about a race of beings from that look like Yoda. So sometimes when I first started doing readings years and years ago, I would think, I'm not going to tell this person this. Like, this is too weird. This must be my imagination. But over time, I've learned it's never your imagination. It truly does exist. So,
Yes,
yeah.
when I do readings, I don't tell them if they don't ask me. I do
Hmm.
galactic Akashic records, and I can see from what planet they were, the point of origin of them. Um, and sometimes I see them that they come in from Arcturians or Pleiades or Lyrians or whatever, Zeta Reticuli, etc. But if they don't ask me for that information, I don't give it to them because not
Yeah.
everybody is ready or open to hear,
So,
hey,
oh, yeah.
you're
So true. I ask them, do you want to know what I see around you? If they say no, I don't tell them. Yeah.
yes.
So, yeah, always. Yeah. It's always with permission.
It,
But I find more and more people waking up just naturally to that galactic side of things, right? And connecting with their guides. So really, it doesn't take much, but just opening up and giving them permission to come in, right? So,
I believe about 10 years ago, the people were more opening and there was cosmic disclosure in Gaia. They were this and they were that. People were wanted more information and many things happening there and people closed down. And right now they're opening again to this
mhm.
information. I'm glad because right now it's very necessary to be informed about these things. And because we're gonna be seeing many lies again from the same governments that they're gonna be trying to distract us with some lies, but that doesn't mean it is the truth. So it is important to be in touch with our own guidance. So
Yeah,
like that we don't get lie and manipulated or
yeah,
controlled.
100%. We need discernment. I mean, what I was shown is with the initial disclosure, there will be some denial, with those who want to keep things suppressed. And but I believe that it won't work at all. It won't work. It'll just be too obvious. I mean, I took an astronomy class in college, and we had a night lab, and we would go and we had a huge telescope, and we would see, millions of galaxies out there. So, I mean, how can we think we're alone in this giant multiverse, right? It's, yeah,
But I believe that's where is gonna come the change when they're trying to lie to us again about the disclosure in the political way that benefits certain party or certain country or certain thing. That's when they're gonna intervene because they're tired of our governments or countries or leaders are lying to us and it's not helping the humanity that's what we've been asking and they want to give us that precisely that help.
hmm. Well, I mean, because with disclosure, sovereignty will just come in naturally. And that being said, those who want to keep it suppressed, well, it's really going to hurt their lifestyle. So yeah, they're going to fight to the bitter end, but I know that it won't work. That I do know. That I have been told. So yeah, so I'm excited. I mean, I don't know what month, I don't know when, but this summer I have a friend that has a beautiful acreage outside the city, and so I'm going to do a few little CE5 events out there. So, and we'll see who shows up. So,
That
I'm
is so,
looking.
I believe
Yeah,
we all have to be doing that so like that we connect with our own family because we have an entourage all around us and we can communicate with them in the moment we decide we want to.
yeah, yeah. I mean, every time I'm obsessed with science fiction, and every time I watch a movie about where they have images of space or star systems, I just feel like, oh, that's my home.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
It's like a longing. It's like you really know where you are, right? So, or where you
and so
belong. But I do love this planet, don't get me wrong, right? It's a wacky, wild ride here, but can't say it's boring.
Something that I do tell a lot of my students of channeling, it is about that they communicate to telepathic communication. Just exactly how you do it with with the animals is the
Yeah,
same way that you do it with these beings.
yeah, yeah,
Correct.
telepathic. Yeah. I mean, the more grounded people can be, the more communication they're going to get, right? Um, whether it's being outside in nature, meditation, anything that just calms that nervous system, right?
Yes.
And
And we need to believe in ourselves, or else we're gonna gaslight ourselves. Like, oh no, that's not happening. No, no, no. I don't have no one around me. We gaslight ourselves a lot. We have to believe in ourselves.
100%. I mean, whatever you can imagine does exist in our reality because it would never come into your head if it didn't exist, right?
Yes.
And I mean, everything is in the here and now. So really, technically, all of our galactic family is just right there, right? Right there with you, 3 feet away. And
Yes.
yeah, quiet the mind and you'll find them. Or ask them to come into your dreams, right? I
Yes.
know I know when we sleep, we do a lot of work. We're not just sleeping.
Or the easy one, it is automatic writing. In
Yeah,
automatic writing, they can be awake and just asking, getting out of their head. So like that, the ego doesn't intervene, and they can have a communication to automatic writing. Many channels started through there to
yeah.
automatic writing.
Hmm.
And today,
And I find,
you don't need a crutch.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and if you get on, like, if you look at all the streaming services and all the science fiction movies they have, they're all about, cataclysm on Earth because this galactic race came in and destroyed it. It's like they're so hell bent on keeping us terrified of other races. I mean, yes, are there negative races out there? Of course there are, but the majority is positive, and we are protected. I know that for sure. I've seen that firsthand. Yeah, yeah, they love Gaia and they love us. So
That is so
yeah,
true.
yeah. Um, yeah,
Kelly,
so
if
go
someone
ahead.
has more information and want to contact you, I'm going to be posting her information on Kelly, her website, and also her Facebook and her Instagram. So you can contact her. If you want a session with her, and and who knows, you might be a star seed, and maybe you would like to know more about that. So you want to find Kelly? I will be posting her information down below this video. Do you have something that you do especially with your clients or new clients?
Well, I mean, I do online sessions, and I do like a reading with sound. It's interesting. The way I work, though, I mean, I will open their Akashic records, but the way I work is, you know, everything is in the here and now. So, I, I mean, we can talk about the galactic side of things for sure, but I also just tell them whatever shows up, for that reading itself. It could be many things and not just that, not just the galactic side of things, right?
Yes.
Could be a lot of past lives as well. I actually wanted to mention one more thing to you before we go, if that's okay. Is that
Yes,
okay?
yes, that's
I had
okay.
a client last night who definitely a starseed. I can see her. She's part of the program, so I can see her in her pod on a ship. And she had a dog in this life. And the dog came in before she showed up. The dog came in, said hi. I'm like, hey. And then I told her, there's a dog here, and she showed me a picture, and it is her dog that she used to have who passed away. Um, this now, I don't know if you ever got this. This is a first for me, but this dog showed me the galactic version of this dog. So this starseed came in as a dog, as her dog in this life.
Hmm. I
Have
have
you
not heard.
had that?
No,
No.
I have not
Um,
experienced.
to me, I remember thinking, am I seeing this right? But truth, like you can feel truth. And he's, of course, he's already transitioned, so he's back on the ship. But and he showed me the version of him. He's human looking, dark haired young male. Or he looks young, but I'm not sure how old he is. He could be hundreds of years old. Yeah, but he came in as her dog in this
And it
last.
sounds logical because in a way the dogs or cats, our pets, they are so close to us that it is logical to be our protectors or be part of our mission to help us
Yeah,
grow, separate any our issues that we have and accompany us in this timeline. So it
yes,
sounds like
yeah, no, I have spoken to animals that have a starseed family for sure. This one particular cat was had a really strong connection with, and the cat is still alive, had a connection with the starseed or with their star family. But I never spoke to an animal that actually was part of the starseed program. So I think I wanna dive in and see if I can connect with that aspect of that dog to ask a few more questions. But that just happened to me. It was late last night. So
that would be very
yeah.
interesting.
So
More,
to you, let me know.
that would be very, very interesting to know more about that because I have not encountered, but I think it is possible. It is very, very possible to,
Incarnate any way you want, right? Any
yes.
which way you want into anything. I don't know a ton about those programs. Maybe you know more, but only what I've seen and what I've been shown. So yeah,
It sounds logical about that. I have not experienced that myself, but but it sounds logical when I see my cats or when I see my dog. I can see different aspects of them in different places. So I understand that they are multidimensional beings too. And and maybe not all of them, or maybe some of them, or maybe the ones that they are with certain people.
yeah,
Who knows?
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's hard to say, but I kept asking this this dog over and over the questions, and like, you really were part of the stars? Yes, yes, yeah. So yeah, really interesting. Yeah.
That will be very
Sure.
interesting.
I mean,
Mm,
obviously, it was a mission for her herself, right? The animal was there for her. On what aspect, I don't know. There was a lot going on in the reading, so yeah. So I'll see if I can tap in, get permission to tap into him again.
yes. Kelly, it's been fascinating talking to you. Thank you so much for being in Soul Talk. Thank you for the viewers. And please, if this help you or it sounds very interesting, please share it with your friends. And if you have any comments or any questions, please write it down. So like that, I can relate that to Kelly or myself. And like that, we can answer those questions. Of course, if we have, if not, we can investigate that questions. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being in Soul Talk. This is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love.